Hello everyone, I'm Official Guitar Hero back, and wow, it's been quite a long time, hasn't it? I haven't been able to record any videos for a while because of exams at school and procrastination. Obviously, you know, everyone goes through that at some time. So if any of you think I'm dead, obviously I'm not, because obviously I'm making this video. You may have noticed, if you've been looking at my channel recently, that my Majora's Mask Metal Medley video I uploaded at the end of last year has gone somewhat relatively popular in comparison to my other ones. It's actually the second most popular video, rephrase that, second most popular music video I've done altogether. So I figured why not do a sort of a behind the scenes thing, so you can see what happens behind, well, with all the production and stuff. Yeah, let's do it. So, here we go. Starting things off, we have the timeline. As you can see, it is very big. Very big timeline. Yes, very big. Yes, you get the point now, okay. Now, you can see I've split this up into multiple sections so I can tell which part's which of the song, because it's a medley, it has multiple songs in it. So, first part is Majora's theme, so let's analyze this here. So we shall play this. Now you notice something here on the drums. If I solo this here, you can see what's happening right here, and also I'll turn on the MIDI data here. So you can see here, it's only playing this. Now you can see what I've done there is basically lined that up with the original song, which is playing in the background here. Here's the original song. You can hear there's some sort of percussion, I don't know what the hell it is that's being used in there, but it's something that's being used, and I decided to, you know, because it's a metal cover, just you know, I don't know why I'm talking with it. Anyways, so there's not much going on in the drumming there. It's mainly at the second half of that part of the song where it starts to get slightly more interesting. You can see I've used a lot of articulation with the how each note sounds, or how each hit sounds on the drums. So now the main part of this, because it's only the backing track, a bit of drums, and mainly the lead guitar that's happening on this part. Then I'll show you what's happening on the lead part. So if I solo this, you can hear there's quite a few effects on there. There's actually really only 4, but you know, it sounds quite good. So if I turn off everything, you'll hear how it sounds when I recorded it straight off. You can hear it's quite high on the high end, if you know what I mean. Like where the treble is, it's quite bitey, if you know what I mean. So you can see what I've done on the EQ here is turn up the bottom end, turn down the top end, and turn up the mids quite a bit, with a bit of a low mid-range, I guess you could call it, scoop kind of thing. So this is what it sounds like here. And I'll turn it on and off so you can hear the difference. But yeah, so that's what's happening there. Now what I also have on here is a dynamics thingy here, effects rack dynamics, which comes with Sony Acid Pro, which is the program I'm using, if you haven't guessed already. Basically what this does is it's a limiter, compressor, and gates or whatever in one. I'm mainly using the compressor in it, and the limiter. And basically, it just turns up the lows and turns down the highs in the volume, not the frequency. But you'll see what I mean here. So without, and then with. It's basically like sort of how a sustain pedal works, or basically a compressor pedal, how it works. And then what I have after that is a delay effect, which you can hear quite a big difference in comparison. So you can hear it has the delays in it, which I quite like. And then reverb. You'll notice a thing as I go along here that I tend to use lots of reverb, so bear with me. So here's what it sounds like with all the effects again. So that's the guitar sound that you'd be hearing. Now if I turn off the dry out and show only the reverb, this is what the reverb sounds like. This is what the reverb effect adds on to the original sound. So yeah, it's very, very cathedral-y, cavernous spacey. So yes. Now this down here, this little thing down here where you can see like a grey line or grayed out bar is basically what I was using as like for the click track. So I was staying in time when I was recording. So if I solo this, if I solo this, right, that's why. Yes, that's why. Okay, so if I solo this and the drums and the backing track, you can hear it's basically just a repeated hi-hat sound throughout the whole thing. That was just when I was recording to make sure everything was on time, obviously. Because, you know, nothing worse than having it out of time. But yeah, that's the Majora's theme part of the song basically shown. So now to go on to the Termina field, which is where I had quite a bit of difficulty with not the mixing, but the recording of the lead guitar, because I kept doing stuff-ups and stuff. Okay. Now, you can see this part here, that's selected right here, it's in stereo. This is the only stereo. Actually, no, tell a lie. There's also this part way at the end here, but we'll get to that in a bit. But we can see this is in stereo because of how it was recorded. The rest of it is in mono. That makes no difference actually altogether, but whatever. This is the bass guitar because it was actually recorded with a Rocksmith cable, believe it or not. If you know the Rocksmith game, it comes with the cable that you use with it to plug in your guitar into the Xbox or PS3 or whatever, PC Master Race, man. And you can actually use it with a recording interface and record through that. Because this I recorded all this medley I recorded last year before I got this new microphone I'm using, and my audio interface, a Roland Duracapture X DI box thingy, I guess you could call it. So what's interesting is how I've actually made the bass guitar sound. So without any effects on, without any reverb, track EQ, there's like 2 EQs on this. Some crazy now. Here's what it sounds like. If I solo this, so you can hear. So you can hear I'm using a pick with it. If I turn this up. Sorry. And what I've done here on the first EQ is just bring up the high. Now that may not make sense on a bass line, but we'll get to that. The other track EQ does something to it later anyway, so now. So I'll swap between the two on and off over here, so you can hear these. There's not much difference, but if you listen closely, you can probably hear some extra pick noise being added. But the main kicker is this thing here, the AC box combo that comes with, what's it called? Sony Acid Pro. basically what it is an amp simulator. Now, I don't use this for amp tones. Obviously, I mic up the amplifier I have, but I use it for the bass tone because if you've listened to old school Metallica, I'm talking old school, before I was born, 80s Metallica, when Cliff Burton was still alive, you know, the man, the god, you know. He had the fuzz sound, the bass sound, which obviously other bassists also had, but you know, here's the example I'm using here, and here's the sort of sound I based this off of. Now, if you listen between the thing, obviously you can hear a big difference because it's basically adding a bunch of distortion and stuff, so I'll show you. Off, obviously. And then I'll turn it on. Now. Obviously you can tell the difference, you know. So next comes the dynamics again, which is the same thing as what's on the lead guitar, it just brings everything up to level, so. And then after that, it's a reverb, a little bit of reverb. And then after that is this other EQ, which brings back down all the high end and then turns up the bass a little bit, you know. Now, obviously, I wasn't going to exactly replicate Cliff Burton's sound because, you know, that'd be blasphemy. But I think this is an all right sound. I'll work on it in the future. So it's because my thing's already constantly changing all the time, obviously. So, you know, there's that. If I turn this back down to what it was before, track volume level change. There we go. And next is the drums here. Now, I will admit, what I did when I was doing this, I took all the separate backing tracks, like what was in the Majora's theme and stuff, laid them out one after the other, timed them all to 95 beats per minute, which is the global tempo of the song, 95 beats PM. And then I laid out the drum track with a mouse instead of using like the drum triggers or whatever. But what I made sure I do in it is so that when I come to playing it and recording the video, I wanted to make sure that it was actually something that I could play, you know. I didn't want to make it like Mike Portnoy or something, you know, that would be crazy. But, you know, drum solo sounds like this here. And the plugin I'm using for the drum sounds is a plugin that comes with Sony Acid Pro. You can see a theme going on here. I'm using a lot of the built-in assets of Sony Acid Pro. Basically, it's called Kit's Core, which you can buy separately, but it comes with a lower spec version, free when you buy Sony Acid Pro. Which is quite a good deal considering the program itself is like $150 and you get quite a bit of add-ons with it, like the drum thing and the amp sim and that sort of thing. But if I go over to where the drum sound is, now where is that? Over here. You can see on the bar down here is green, and it's going down. I shall click on that, and all we have on here is a reverb. It's a concert hall reverb, so without... sounds slightly more dry of a sound on the drum kit. So if I put in the reverb, you can hear some of those acoustics coming back into the sound. Now you'll notice these other two lines here. These are actually to go alongside the main drum track. Because if you notice the kick pedal, if I actually bring up the view the soft synth properties and view Kit's Core, So you can see here, I'm actually, while I'm on it, I'm using the Matt Sorum kit. And if you don't know, he's the drummer from, or maybe he was, I don't know, I don't research these things. But it says here he was from the Guns N' Roses, which if you can hear some of that sound in there, that drum kit sound, like with the snare mainly, that sort of big ambient snare sound. Yeah, ruining my words today. Now, you'll hear with a kick, if I turn off the reverb actually, hold on, reverb, turn off, there you go. You know, it's a rock reverb, why am I calling it reverb? Rock kick sound, for rock music. But what I like to do is, if you listen to metal music, you know what I'm talking about when I say about this sort of sound they get with the kick drum, where they get a less bass, more click sound on the kick drum. And what I've done here is copied all the kick hits, like down here, these hits here, and copied them to a new layer, this here, and put this is what line is this? This one here, I believe. Track EQ. Yeah, that's the one. You can see it has all the bass taken out, most of it at least, and then a lot of the high end put back in. And what this does is if I solo this kick layer, it makes it very, very clicky sound. And so when I add that in, I'll just swap between the two so you can hear a slight difference. And on. Yeah, that sort of thing. The metal kick sound, whatever you like to call it. And then this other layer down here is basically just copying all the snare hits and then copying them to a new layer. So, and then, because the snare is one of the more prominent parts of the drum kit of what you hear on the finished recording. So I wanted to make sure that stuck out a lot. And also, what are these? These are both snare hits, okay. So if I swap between these two on here, and then turn this one on and off, you can hear the difference. Off. And then on. Yeah, you can hear it. You can tell it sticks out a lot more with the extra snare layer thingy, Meduriki. So then comes the rhythm guitar. These four things here. Now, what this actually is just two recordings copied twice, copied once. I mean, so basically you get four different recordings, and then you have them panned left and right. If I expand these. You can see on where it says pan, 100% L or left, 100% R or right, and that's done for both of those, all four of those rather. And if we bring these back down to size, there you go. We can see when we solo these, you can hear the separate guitars. That's why sometimes if you listen and watch the video, which the link should be in the description if you haven't already, it might look like I'm not actually playing the right parts of the like the rhythm of the song, like the rhythm guitar where it's not matching up with how it sounds. But that's just because I recorded it twice, and because reasons. I hadn't actually gotten it properly the exact same tightness that I would have liked, but whatever, it sounds quite good, I think. So if we solo the first one, that's on the left, solo the right one, that is on the right, and if we solo them both together, we get them both on both speakers. The only problem I've noticed is that because I was using a microphone that's not meant for low frequencies, and I was using a 7-string guitar tuned to drop G, you know, the gentness is real. Basically, it didn't pick up the low frequencies as well as I would have liked, but hey, it was a relatively cheapish microphone I used. It was a dynamic microphone, dynamic supercardioid microphone or something like that. And then the other recording sounds like this. Not much difference at all. So if we put them together though, yeah, you can hear it doesn't quite match up in some parts, but yeah, what you can, I remember there was one part, let's see if I can find it. I believe it was this part here. If I solo the thing, you can hear on here, if I solo this. So that's what the rhythm sounds like on there. And then if I play the other one, it doesn't really match up. And so what you see on the video is actually, I believe, this recording here, I think it was. I can't quite remember. Or maybe it's the other one. I can't remember. But yeah. Anyways, that's... Oh, and also I forgot to mention this part here. This was done like nearly at the end of the whole shindig, the whole recording process. That's the only thing on this layer. That's actually the only thing on this layer. Is it has the same effects minus the echo, the delay or whatever, from the lead guitar layer. And all it is the little trills you can hear at the start of the song, these parts here. And then starts the lead guitar. And also, I forgot to show what I had, the effects that I have on the rhythm guitars, which are all the same. Yep, they're all the same. So what I have on here is cutting the low frequencies out, cutting the high frequencies out. Maybe I shouldn't have done that because shouldn't have done that. Majora's Mask references all over. Maybe I shouldn't have done that because it's a 7-string and low frequencies, you know, but whatever. So without, if I solo these two so you can hear a difference, this here. Actually, turn off the other effects as well, obviously. And then I turn it on. It gets rid of a lot of the fizz in the top end, mainly, is what I was going for. Then the dynamics, you know what that does already, you know, that sort of thing. Then reverb, yeah, it just adds the room ambience. That sort of thing. And that's on all of the, all 4 rhythm guitar parts. Well, 2, rather, because it's duplicated.